All right, now for the gaming section. So, have you ever thought to yourself, hey, what I wanted is a game where you sort of have a roguelike, permadeath sort of situation where you go into a dungeon and you also move around and kill enemies to a groovy dance beat? Well, if you are looking for that, well, we have a game for you, and it's called Crypt of the Necrodancer. And it's an interesting premise. Basically, this girl called Cadence, her father goes off in search for a treasure and never comes back. And she goes in search for her father. And she falls into a crypt, and the Necrodancer comes and steals her heart and replaces it with a funky beat. So, yeah. You jump into the game, and you have to explore these dungeons, collect treasures, make yourself more powerful, use weapons wisely, and move along to the beat. So let's jump into the game and see what I'm talking about. So, what's the gameplay of Crypt of the Necrodancer like? Well, you jump into the game and it's pretty simple. You just need the directional arrows on your keyboard or on your gamepad, and basically it plays a beat, a funky beat, and it's more of a dance beat really. And basically you have to move through the level according to the beat. And that's where things get a little bit tricky, because the enemies all move according to the beat as well. And if you miss a beat, or if you press the arrow key at the wrong time, not according to the song, then you are going to have a coin penalty. So this is sort of a rhythm game with a roguelike dungeon crawler. And that's actually a really, really interesting concept, and it's surprisingly really, really fun. Just the music alone is enough to keep you going, because first of all, the best part of this game is the soundtrack of Crypt of the Necrodancer is some of the best music you're going to hear from a video game, and it really does get you moving along to the beat. So it really does help that the music's good when you're moving around. So what are you getting into? Well, you basically play Cadence, but there's also many other different characters. So for example, there's one character called Bard, and his special ability is he doesn't have to move along to the beat. So if you find some difficulty moving or pressing along to the beat, or maybe you're tone deaf or you're just not very musically inclined, you can play as Bard and you move along, and enemies move after you move. So when you move, enemies take a turn as well. So that's where the mechanics really do sort of get interesting here, because it's sort of like a mix between turn-based and real-time, and it's not like real-time with pause, but it's like everything moves by turns. You have a turn, enemies have a turn, but your turn timer is based on the beat of the song. And one of the greatest features of this game is you can input your own songs, your own playlist into the game, and it will analyze the songs, and you can play along to the beats of your own songs. But be careful putting some really fast dubsteppy beats in there, because it might have difficulty recognizing what the beats are, and also if it's too fast, it becomes really difficult to play. So Crypt of the Necrodancer has these sort of mix-matchy sort of things. What could be difficult, or what are the cons of this game? Well, first of all, the aesthetics is another pixel art game, so if you're into some sort of 3D fanciful graphics, then you're not going to be looking for Crypt of the Necrodancer. But also if you're sort of into the run and gun sort of action-y, explosion-y sort of game, then again, Crypt of the Necrodancer might be a little too precise, or too well, not explosion-y enough for you, really. So, but overall, it's really, really nice. So, is Crypt of the Necrodancer gonna be for you? Well, if you like rhythm games and you like dungeon crawlers and roguelites, then you're gonna like Crypt of the Necrodancer, especially if you like something like Rogue Legacy from before, another game out there. And it's just really, really nice, but here's a really special selling point for Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's that you don't just have to use the keyboard, directional arrows, or a gamepad to play this game. You can actually use a dance mat. So you know the dance mat they use for DDR? You can put it in and play Crypt of the Necrodancer, which might be really difficult, but hey, it's gonna be a workout. So overall, for around 40 ringgit on Steam, Crypt of the Necrodancer is a really, really innovative game, which doesn't really create lots of new mechanics, but it takes mechanics that haven't been used together before, puts them together, and it works really, really well. And the soundtrack alone is enough to buy the game. It's a phenomenal soundtrack. So, before we go, let me thank our wonderful hosts here, which are Calories KL at Sri Harthamas. They've got some coffee and stuff over there, which I definitely need a cup of joe right after this.
You will never defeat me. You will never escape. You will never reach the end of the Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Alas, we're at the end of another episode of Gadget Nation, but we'd love to hear your feedback. So pop on over to Facebook, look up Gadget Nation. We're also on Twitter. Just look it up, as simple as that. In case you get a bit confused, don't worry, everything's pretty much posted on the Astro Awani Facebook page as well. Now, of course, we have the big shout out to the guys here at Roasting Run for hosting us. Definitely be back yet again. Can't stay away from the coffees here. Now, I'm gonna get back to work on this so I can get next week's episode ready just for you. Gadget Nation, signing out. Till next time.